Oh my goodness, Invoker is a child. Welcome to New Meta, episode 36. I might get a new intro. I don't know what your opinions of this is, but the intro music, I feel like we can do a little bit better. I know we've had a couple of listeners being like, what is your intro music? I don't know what your thoughts are on the intro music, Marco. What do you reckon?
I thought that we once said the intro music could go down to the Patreon subscribers, but there's currently 0 of them, so I'm also not sure if you want this information in the point.
What about our questions over the intro music? Oh,
no,
right.
the idea of a Patreon goal being you get a vote on the intro music.
That'd be good. A democracy of 3 when we launch it.
Yeah.
I'll be up for that. Yeah. I want one of those intros that you can talk over. Some podcasts have, it's like a kind of intro, and then you can say, like, for example, the news podcast or the sports podcast, they'll be like, trade talks between the Raptors, and then this guy's gone here. Welcome to blah blah, and then like the music goes on for a bit more, and then it ends. So you can do like a little teaser intro thing.
You don't think you can talk over?
Yeah, maybe I could give it a go. That might be sensory overload for the listeners, though.
I don't think you'd want to. That first 5 seconds is brutal. Whatever that high-pitched bell horn whistle thing is.
Yeah.
Luckily, when I listen to if I listen to our podcast over again, it's on 1.5 speed, so it doesn't last near as long.
That's good for you then. Yeah, that's lucky. That's like me when I edit it on 1.5 too. So yeah, I don't know. I'm just putting that out there, listeners. This might be the last time you get to hear that deafening, squeaky intro. So you might want to rewind, and lap it up, because I feel like by the time we record again for, I guess, the Friday episode, maybe, just maybe, there'll be a new one. So I'll have to see about that. First things first. I mean, I mentioned it at the start. Invoker is a kid. Literally, he's a child.
Is there some lore behind this?
It's just him as a child.
The lore is that he used to be a kid.
And now...
A few millennia ago.
Is it? Actually? Yeah. Is there a backstory?
Well, he's just thousands of years old. It's just him as a student, I think, learning stuff.
Okay.
For the first time.
Marco was about to pump his levels up to 305 and was like, wait a second, not enough story for me. It's not good enough that he just was a kid. Needs some more.
I mean, the PA career choice switch from private assassin to like public cowboy ranger was questionable at best. But now I'm getting a bit confused with the timing of the universe that we're in.
Yeah, that's a true point, to be fair.
Because I was like, is it just him as a kid, or is there like some weird magic going on, or
it'd be cool if it was
jumping back in time for his timeline?
I guess so, yeah. It'd be cool if it was his kid. I'd be up for that.
Oh, his kid.
Ooh, yeah, that could be cool. Who's the mom?
Don't know, mate. I don't know. Invokers. I don't know what his match would be.
Hail for lass. I don't know what. Maybe there's some Warcraft lore on that. Copyright.
Enchantress.
And
sure. I mean, it's kind of semi-bestiality or something.
Yeah,
just semi though. She's half, so it's just.
It's acceptable.
Yeah. Okay.
It's just him at boarding school or something. Like, I don't know if you've loaded in the DotA, but just him in the library, just like geeking out on all the books.
Geeking out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've only just watched like a 3-minute video of him then. Pretty cool from first glances. How much have you seen him, Adam?
I banned him every game, so I haven't seen him yet.
What? That is such a spoil sport.
But I played it in the demo mode. I think it's really well done. It's on the level of an arcana. It's those Quaswex exhort orbs are amazing. And then how they change the color of the auto attack.
Oh, the auto attack looks really cool.
Yeah. And then if you have like a deafening blast set of orbs, Quaswex exhort, it's like a combination of all 3 in your auto attack. Like it's a different color.
I didn't notice that. That's cool that it changes the auto attack. The auto attack in general looks really cool.
Yeah. And then you get a Forge Spirit. And a Ghost Walk icon, I think. So
It's
How
definitely
much do you,
cool set.
do you need to spend to get this set?
I don't know. It's 300, so that's at the lower end. I feel like
Yeah.
of the rewards.
I thought I went 300 quid then. It's like, what?
I'm
No,
at
lab-
190,
lab-
so
You could probably get it off of predictions and fantasy and stuff.
yeah.
Maybe.
That's prediction pod coming soon. TBD, maybe.
Yeah.
Week
Well,
or
did
two.
you see the guy that did the prediction threads for the last 2 years for TI for fantasy isn't doing it this year?
Yes, I did see that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Gap in the market for new meta, fancy Dota. I'll see. I mean, I feel like I've never failed to get the top 10%. If you just put the players in that are playing, you'll probably get it.
Yeah.
So, on the subject of sets, it's getting towards the business end of the Arcana vote. I wanted to get people's thoughts on what. I mean, it doesn't actually have to be out of the heroes remaining, to be fair, but like, what hero would you want to see an Arcana for, Marco? Any hero, what do you think is a cool candidate for an Arcana?
I want to pull up this Arcana voting.
Yeah, got it up as well.
So,
I know who I voted for.
are you asking any hero, Stan?
Yes, although, I mean, I can run you through the ones that are left if you want as well, but...
Maybe Adam can get a link or something about the ones that are left. Thinking about any hero first, so I'm looking at my Dota buff most heroes played, because kind of can't really justify an Arcana favourite if it's a hero I don't really play.
Right.
Oh, but then I was actually going to say Anti-Mage, but then it's like only my 9th or 10th most played hero. I actually have played relatively little of that hero, even though I'd probably say it's one of my favourite.
Yeah, Anti-Mage is a good shout, to be fair.
I think an Anti-Mage one would be super cool, and I'd really love that. It's just that I don't like playing the same hero too much. My Pentagon of versatility is never less than 9.5, apart from that Mars time when it dipped to like an 8. I know there are some people out there that have got 0 versatility and they just have pages of a hero, but I always struggle to stick. Even when we've had these pods and we've been like, all right, to climb a Mars, stick it to 3 heroes. Even days after that, I can't help just changing hero every game.
Can't help taking a faceless void loss to the chin.
Yeah, Nyx, pos 4 Nyx in a 7k MMR average game.
Yeah.
I'll do that for the first time in years.
Yeah.
Easy double down.
Yeah, double downs. Fucking stupid decisions.
I was thinking...
Sorry.
Well, I was thinking maybe you actually play... Well, I don't know. Do you play Morph? You did for a bit.
There was a period I played him,
when you played
so it isn't much.
Yeah, Morph's got some Arcana potential because of the way his ult works and the fact that his model is so bad.
Yeah.
You can't really go wrong with a Morph Arcana. I don't play him, but if I did play him, I probably would be up for that.
Yeah, if you could change the colouring scheme of him, so like imagine a red or black misty wave like waving forward, and it's kind of
Fire Morph.
Fiery Morphlin or something like that. That could be sick.
Yeah.
My most played hero, at least on this account, there's 2 that are joint top. So it's really tight. There's like a kind of a broad distribution. But do you reckon you could guess the top 2? I think you could get one of them, but then you'd be surprised by the second, I think.
Your top 2 most played heroes?
Yeah.
It's not... I know...
Puck. Is it Puck?
Puck is 2 matches behind, so no.
So is it number 3?
It's number 4.
Oh, okay.
I'm not sure, honestly. Maybe Storm Spirit?
Storm is 1 behind, so Storm's number 3.
Okay.
So you're missing 1 and 2, which are just like 1 ahead of Storm.
Oh. I'm not sure. Where's your Invoker, by the way? Because I know you like trotted out some Invoker games back in the day. Is that like 6th or something?
No, it's not in the top page anymore because...
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, it was never... I think maybe at one point it was, but there was one point where I spammed it and lost with it and forgot about it.
Is this a Marco Quap?
That's one of them. Yeah, that's the one I thought you'd get. But then the one joint with Quap as most matches is kind of a surprising one. At least to me.
Weaver.
No. It's still a mid hero.
I kind of want to get it. Is it like OD?
No.
No, I was going to say, you don't really play OD, actually.
I have
Windranger.
no idea.
Yeah, Windranger.
Hey.
I was going to say that, but I just don't ever
surprising.
remember you playing it.
Yeah, it's weird that it's joint highest. Quap's kind of fair enough, but Windranger's kind of weird. So yeah, even looking at these most played, I wouldn't say any of those mids as for Arcana. It probably would be anti-mage, even though I don't play it enough.
An evil Windranger, I could get behind that.
I mean, Windranger's still in the actual bracket, so...
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, she has some nice items already. I don't really know how the Arcana would improve her even more. I really
Honestly,
like items on Windranger.
That Group C of Invoker versus Slark and Windranger versus Ember, if we could just delete all those heroes, like, that's the worst side of the bracket.
How is Ogre Magi still in this contest? What is going on?
He got a bye and then went up against Weaver, right? So...
Yeah, and then Bristle, but I lumped on Bristle, and I was up for a Bristle Arcana.
Yeah, what is this Ogre loving? I saw on the front page of DotA buff that its pick rate had gone up 15 or 20% over some time period.
He got a buff to Bloodlust.
Yeah, it was literally that one talent buff where it's now plus 60 rather than plus 40 at level 20 talent. Wasn't that the only change? Is everyone just picking him because they can foresee him winning the Arcana and want to like get good at him ahead of time?
I just think he's kind of strong, I guess. Test it out.
I mean, to be honest, I would delete that Group B. Alchemist, Ogre, Tinker, Necro. I mean, come on.
That is minging. Yeah.
I'd happily take any of Group C over him, other than Invoker. I don't want Invoker to get it, but
Invoker just got one.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Mars is still in the running, so Spectre. Spectre and Mars would be cool.
I think Mars would be pretty sick, yeah.
I voted Drow, and I will vote Drow until it's over.
Oh, okay. I can't remember what I voted, so yeah, there you go. Alright, I was going to say about the final word about the Arcana pricing, just because it's interesting to me that they've... Is it $30, I guess? It's like 26 quid, I think. So I think
35.
Oh, 35, okay. It's just interesting to me that that's the price they landed on for all the Arcanas, and it's never changed, other than the ones that you seem to get every year in the battle passes now. I think I would stretch... I'd pull the wallet out.
Those are account locked. Like, you can't trade those anyways.
Yeah.
The Arcanas, yeah.
Yeah.
Same with the Invoker persona.
Yeah, and the Collector's Cachet, right? Is that correct? Or you can only the Ultra Rare? Maybe you can sell the Ultra Rare?
Yeah, that's the only one.
Yeah, the Ultra Rare Jug is pretty cool, to be fair. Shout out to the Ultra Rare Jug.
That is so cool.
Yeah. I was going to say, I would probably get the wallet out for a Meepo Arcana, but I couldn't see myself getting my stretching for any others. Maybe Lena, but Lena's already got one, so if they upgraded it. But I'm all about that Meepo Arcana. I don't know what it would be, but I feel like I just have to get it out of respect. I think that's a long way off, though. He's probably bottom of the pile in line for Arcana.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be like a Chen Arcana.
Yeah, Chen Arcana first. Tell you what, though, Chen Arcana, make all the creeps look cool. Creep skins. I tell you what, get me on the Valve team. That's another way of making money.
Yeah.
Gaming and be proud. Creep skins. The neutral skins.
Looking at the last 16, just final comment, I see Ricky still in the pool, and it reminded me, there's that funny Ricky sniper. The Heralds can't decide which to pick. But I would be keen for a Ricky one. He's a favourite hero, like a favourite since Dota 1 days. I remember playing that guy quite a lot. Would happily see something on him.
The first game I ever watched you play, you got wrecked by a Ricky. That's all I remember.
That feels bad.
I don't remember anything else about the game. That's what I can say.
I remember you going 25-0 on Blink Shadow.
In a heroic Shadow Fiend performance.
Mega creep hold.
Yeah.
DC'd for 4.5 minutes.
I'll re-record that segment when I'm editing and make it sound amazing.
Yeah. Make
Crazy
accurate.
Shadow Fiend game. Yeah. So briefly as well, games. Adam, how's your games been? How's DotA been treating you?
I've been grinding.
Grinding?
Yeah. Has
Nice.
been like win, loss, win, loss, win, loss, 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 win, 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 loss, like that type of thing. Just staying in the same spot. Just
Yeah,
force
the true
50.
grind.
But I'm on a 4-1 for yesterday, so that's good. I'm up to 62% to Divine 5.
Nice.
If I double down, I could snag it, I guess. But I might just try and get it the normal way.
I see a
I'm on
sprinkle
your-
of bounty hunters in your match history, which is quite cool.
Exactly the comment I was going to say.
Yeah, that hero is disgusting. That's why I picked it, because it's so annoying.
How are you
As what
playing it?
position?
4.
Four.
I've been playing 4. All those heroes. Like, I guess that
Interesting.
AA would be 5 and CM, but like Spirit Breaker 4. I played a Lena game last night.
Nice.
A Lena 4, 64-minute game against Naga Tinker, and we won.
Oh my goodness. Yikes.
Yeah.
Lena's a cool hero to play for in a 64-minute game. You know, you can get fat for just farming.
Yeah, if I was better, I would have had a lot more farm, I think.
Right.
But it's
Probably.
kind of hard.
True.
It's kind of hard to push waves against Tinker and stuff. Yeah, but you just get a lot of gold. You just clear the waves at any point in the game. And then how we won was I just walked into their base, shadow bladed, and just blew up the Tinker, and then he bought back, and then we killed him later, and then I was like, okay, that's it. We won.
That's sick.
Yeah, I feel like it's surprising that there aren't more 4 Lenas played.
Oh, it was like a RD2L staple. It's like if you had a high tier support player that didn't feel comfortable playing core, you just put them on a 4, like a greedy one like Lena, and then just they farm into a 4th core.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
we had a Wraith King Lena lane, and it was so fun. Just Wraith Fire Blast and the Light Strike away and just pet people.
Any 4 that's got farm potential is surely going to do quite well in pubs because the games tend to be elongated. They're not as clinical, so the greedier picks are probably
Yeah. Like
more
I played
acceptable.
Enchantress 4, it felt terrible. It didn't farm at all.
Right.
But then I think the 2 ways to go are you just go like Bounty Hunter or Spirit Breaker and be really aggressive, or you just go like Lena and farm a lot. Don't go something middle of the road type of deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, that reminds me of my heroic maybe 4 game stint of position 4 Enigma. I think I went 3-1, which is a pretty strong win rate. Playing it this super greedy, just get your items and push and win kind of thing.
Yeah.
Never gone back.
I'll say I've been joining you in the grinds, but unlike you, the classic Magic T grind experience is not win-loss, win-loss. It's win-win-win about 10 games in a row and then lose 10 games in a row. I'm like the streakiest Dota player.
That's so brutal.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. I don't know. It's kind of weird, but I win loads of games and then just tank loads of games. But I'm generally on the up. I played like 5 games yesterday and went 4-1, so that's pretty strong.
That's strong, yeah.
But then I was on a 4-loss streak before that, so whatever.
Oh,
but then I was on a
I forgot to say, I listened to music in solo queue,
oh yeah,
and I had the Inception soundtrack going during this Tinker game, and it was so awesome. Like when you finally win the game and like the big horns are blaring and stuff. Sorry,
Yeah.
that was
all right. Painting a picture for the listeners. I like it.
music can make the game so epic.
Yeah. The only couple of things I'll say about my pubs is I had a really interesting Lena game where I was mid Lena against an OD, and we had a position 1 sniper, which I just hate position 1 sniper, and I still hate it after this game, but because our cores were sniper Lena, so it's just a bit grim for them. They had like a Sand King and a Wyvern. We have no one. It's so hard for us to fight properly without Lena or Sniper getting blown at the start. But basically we had a position 3 clock that just did so much work and created enough space and distraction in the fights for Sniper to get damage across. So that was a cool win. And it was a funny one as well, because it's a bit like what Adam was talking about the Tinker. The enemy team had a lifestealer that was like 16-1 or something. Absolute raid boss, couldn't kill him, destroying all our heroes. Then we finally kill him. We push high ground, and then he does this buyback insta TP, like really aggressive TP. His team come forward, you know, and you're like, oh, we forced the buyback, get back. But like, this lifestealer's just by himself, and so as soon as his TP ends, I just insta hex him, and we just kill him again, and we just win. And it was so bizarre. It's like from raid.
Oh my days.
Yeah, it was so weird. It's like from raid boss, unkillable lifestealer, to just insta dying in like 1 second, die back, lose. Yeah, so grim. That was a classic.
It's a classic way to win 90% of pubs, is to, when you've got that lead and you're like, could win the game, and you keep finding train feed, like one kill, and then suddenly the whole enemy team's dead, and it's like, oh, okay, we'll win then.
Yeah, for sure.
It's like that Tinker Naga game. They both only died 4 times each in a 64-minute game. But then, like, they'd only died twice. It's like those last 2 deaths, one without buyback, and then that was it.
Yeah.
But it's just so obnoxious pushing out Naga illusions, especially when they have double butterfly plus evasion talent. It's just, you can't do anything. But our team, that game could. It's sad because I played against Naga twice in a row, and they both went about an hour. And then the first game, I was a bounty hunter, and you just can't clear Naga illusions. The second game, I was Lena. Plus, we had Lion. So Lion, like AoE hex / AoE mana drain. You can like pop a ton of Naga illusions for free. So
yeah, that's so nice.
A lot more easy to deal with the spam.
Mm.
And then I had a bounty hunter game, I forgot, where I had a divine rapier at the end because the Slark got so mad on the other team that he sold all of his items, bought a divine, and then just died to me.
Griefing.
Bounty's a good hero to have a divine on as well.
Yeah,
it's not a bad divine carrier.
Track crit.
It's good stuff. One last thing as well, just because it's kind of funny. I had a complete facepalm moment in a picking stage. The enemy team had absolute last pick, and it was their mid hero. And I picked Viper. It was a good Viper game. We had a clockwork. They had a PA. Viper's got a very high win rate in my bracket. So it's just a good Viper game. I'll pick Viper. And then, first of all, what do you think is the biggest counter to Viper in the game? I believe...
Rubik.
Rubik, yeah, I suppose Rubik. But anyway, Clinks is like...
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, Clinks is like insanely good against Viper. It's the hero I always think about when I'm against a Viper because people just love it. It's really, really good. So I was thinking, man, I really hope they don't pick Clinks. I hope this guy isn't a Clinks picker. Not many are. And then I pick Viper, and just after I pick Viper, I'm like, why didn't I should have just clicked on his profile to check what heroes he plays, like what his featured heroes are. Anyway, so I click on his profile. There's about the entire page is MVP is Clinks, Platinum tier Clinks. And I was like, oh my god, no! And I come back off his profile to see this insta-linked like level 20 Clinks spammer that's like the only hero he plays. And I'm just like, what have I done to myself? That was a bit of a rough one.
Did you win?
No, the Clinks went like 19-1 or something. Rough times. Yeah, it was pretty bad. My Viper might need some work, I think. Viper's just a funny hero. I feel like funny hero. If you don't snowball with him, I don't really like him. He just turns into like an offlaner with just like a Greaves. But sometimes if you get an early Atos and you run around the map doing bits, you can just create so much space and just be an absolute menace. There's no middle of the road because he doesn't really have any utility. If you have a bad start and all he does is press Atos and Greaves, it's kind of grim. Anyway.
One last other thing. I was sad that we delayed the recording to today because I was looking at DotA buff. And yesterday, I was looking at my record and was like, oh, that adds up pretty close to a whole number between wins and losses. And I looked and I was at 4,999 matches. It's like, oh, the next one's going to be 5K. That's sick. And then I looked at my aliases or whatever, my Steam names. And yesterday was the 1-year anniversary of the Come Dine With Me name change.
Pog.
Oh, that's
So it's-
huge.
Yeah. So that must have been when I started RD2L because I haven't changed it since then.
Happy birthday, CDWM.
Yeah.
Well,
You could do a whole episode on Adam's past aliases. There's been some cracking ones in the crab mentality, cheap as chips.
Yeah. Crab
Cheap as
mentality was the
chips.
classic.
yeah. So, topic of the day, pick rates. Basically just running through the most picked heroes in Dota at the moment and just discussing why we think they are picked so much, whether that's because they're really good or they're just fun, they're easy, they're very effective at the moment. Whatever reason it will be, we'll talk it over and also give a few words about what's good against it and what are the flaws of the hero, just general stuff. First hero on the list, the most picked hero in Divine and Immortal. It's also Marco's most picked hero. It's Windranger.
Yeah, that's funny.
It's so interesting to me that this hero is the most picked because I feel like for so long it just was nowhere near the top.
Yeah.
And now it wasn't a mid hero for ages. It was just like a position 4 kind of with a Blightstone, but not really. And then sometimes you'd see it run as a 3, but now it's run as a 3 or 4 and a mid. And it's just being picked up loads. Marco, I don't know if you want to start us off with Windranger. I mean, why do you think this hero is picked loads?
Well, I was genuinely really surprised to see it at the top of that list when we got the list up. I'm trying to... Give me a moment.
Yeah.
Is this episode 35 or 36?
36.
Damn.
I know. If you separated the episodes into 6s, we'd have 6 different groups of 6s. To me, that seems like a much bigger number than just 36.
Groups of 6.
I don't have a maths brain, but if I'm imagining 6 groups of 6, wow, that's so many.
Is 6 groups of 6
six
bigger?
Six half dozens of eggs.
But is that
or
bigger or
3 dozen
smaller
eggs?
than 4 lots of big 9s? Because I think 4 lots of big 9s is bigger.
Really? I think 6 lots of 6s seems bigger than me.
Yeah, I don't know. What about 36 lots of little ones in a row? That's quite menacing.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah.
1 big duck or 36 little ducks.
3 12s? Or what about 2 groups of 18? My God.
2 groups of 18s in with a shout.
Yeah.
Mark, are you ready to talk about Windranger and save the listeners?
Yeah, so I'm back to the changelog and I'm like, all right, why has this hero getting picked in every game of Dota? I'm a bit stumped.
Disgusting.
I'm stumped. Has she got an arcana, like a cool item that's making everyone pick her? Because, like you say, my last impression of her was that she's not a mid hero. Then we see Sumail. Oh, what was it? The last major epicenter major when Sumail picked Windranger and they were playing Secret. Oh no, that was ESL Birmingham. So this is what, a month and a half ago, maybe nearly 2 months ago. Sumail picks Windranger against mid one who was playing TA and Ember.
Plays it like 2 games in a row or something.
And I remember when that pick happened, everyone's like, the fuck's going on? This hero's not picked, but it's Sumail, we'll let it go. And to me, that's how I've always thought of Windranger. Like, yeah, no one's picking it. Then Sumail picks her and does bits.
Yeah.
But since then, it's not like there's been any change in that hero. Like in the patch log, there's not been any change because
they changed.
I'm sure they changed it all.
Yeah.
But was that not before ESL Birmingham?
No, it was after.
No.
Was it after? Okay.
That's so. What I think the story of Windranger is 3-part. 1, the Sumail thing, which gets it on everyone's radar. 2, the changelog, which, in hindsight, I guess must have been a buff in the sense that Windrun is usable in the late game at level 3 without Ags, whereas back in the day you needed to get an Ags. And then the 3rd change was Weehaw picking it every game, and then everyone was like, "Oh,
that is definitely it." Yeah.
I guess this hero's really good if Liquid are running Windranger mid every single game of Epicenter. So that really kicked it into overdrive. And then everyone was like, oh, just pick it. And I guess they all, well, the Weehaw thing definitely is as a result of the patch, because he does this really interesting build to me where he goes a null phase javelin BKB, so he gets this super early BKB and just basically just D-pushes waves, runs around D-pushing waves, and then almost is guaranteed a kill with Windrun plus BKB and a javelin. Getting the javelin really early as well, so you can basically kill anyone with your level 6.
Yeah, I think Marco just needs to play a couple more games. Just play two games, and you'll see Windranger in it. And then if you're a support, just have a Windranger like run on you with her ult, and you're just like, oh, I'm just dead. Okay. I mean, all of her abilities are just so disgusting right now.
Yeah.
Power Shot, especially with the damage, it's like a 500 damage AoE nuke that shoves out waves from 1,000 million range, and then
super spammable after level 10 as well.
Yeah, Shackle Shot like just completely wrecks team fights, and super easy channel cancel. And if you ever get a double hero shackle, you actually just win, I think.
Yeah.
And then Windrun is one of the most annoying lane spells. It doesn't matter if you're in the side lane or in the mid lane. Can't trade with her. And then when she gets 20 and she goes invis, it's like it's really hard to keep up with her. Even a Dust, I mean, doesn't slow her enough to get on top of her.
Yeah.
And she's so mobile.
I think also the cooldown on Focus Fire now being 70, 50, 30 rather than a flat 70 has really enabled her. Because in the past it was like, I'm a really, really slow-paced hero in the sense I have to wait 70 seconds for my ult to come up and for me to find a kill, unless I spend 4k on Aghanim's, which I don't care for, bar that it gives me the short ult cooldown. But now you can just level up when you Focus Fire and at 12 it's 50 seconds, and then late game only 30 seconds, and now that 4k gold that was in it Aghanim's is now it's a BKB. So that change to the Focus Fire cooldown really feels big.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what you said, is that a lot of the time you'd get stuck farming this 4k item that doesn't actually give you damage. All it does is give you reduced cooldown. And
it used to give you damage because it used to.
Well, I mean, yeah, I guess in the sense that, it does give you like, the damage reduction got taken away, but you don't actually get like procs
damage,
or base damage or orbs or anything. But now, you don't have to spend all this time farming this item, and you just get to be a lot more active, get a lot more useful items, and like 30 seconds is all you really need. Like you didn't really need 12 seconds or whatever. 30 is more than enough, and you don't even have to get an Ags. I mean, it's really good if you're level 20, and then the movement, like the multiple charges against certain lineups. But really, you just get like a Maelstrom or a Blink, or
Yeah, definitely. I think one thing that I've always thought about Windranger is it's such a... I mean, this is from a mid perspective. I don't have a lot of experience with side lane Wind, but it's such a noob-friendly hero, and it does everything. It ticks so many boxes. It's basically what Adam said. It gives you a stun, a really good stun, with the potential of being a game-winning stun, right, if you get it on 2 heroes. Really easy way to push out lanes at all stages of the game. Spammable W, high damage. Really good. Escape spell, which is another noob-friendly spell in the lane. Windrun, insanely good. And crazy single target damage. If you get a Javelin, you're nuking any hero in a shackle duration, probably. It just seems to tick every box there is. I mean, even the durability box, it's a squishy hero, but with Windrun, it's survivable. So
it lasts so long. That's like what is so frustrating. You're just sitting there waiting for it to come down so you can like start hitting it again. And then you have to like be very good on your chain stun, or else she just runs away and you've like blown all your stuns and she's not dead. That becomes very punishing for supports and for cores.
She's definitely a fun hero to play as well, which bolsters that pick rate, because you got these skill shots of Shackle, Power Shot, fast hero physically moving around the map is, I mean, at least to me, makes the hero fun to play. So yeah, all that goes into a massive pot to make a number one pick rate right now. You should remember her, honestly, as well, Stan, for these Clinks pickers. I feel like she'd do pretty good work against a Clinks, being able to windrun all his damage.
Yeah, it goes both ways because he just strafes all your damage as well. But in general, yeah, it's a pretty good matchup. Actually, is it? I don't know. I think it's overrated. I don't think you're that good against Clinks as a Windranger.
What, just because of strafe?
Because strafe, and because if he gets an Orchid, you
they
just
don't
die.
Orchid. I mean, if you got like a Diffusal, that'd be annoying against one run. But
yeah,
I feel like he isn't as online for as long as you are.
Yeah,
or like he has spikes of damage, whereas you just get to like win run out. Okay, now I'm not in his ulti. Okay, now I just kill him.
Yeah, but you can't kill him unless you have Focus Fire, and he doesn't have strafe.
Right.
So it's still a long cooldown. Like, you don't want to use Focus Fire. You can't ever Focus Fire Clinks unless you're level 3, I guess.
One power shot does like half of his health. There is
that's very true. Yeah.
That's what's so crazy. It's just you'll be a support and you'll just be walking somewhere and you get power shot and you're like, that did 500 damage. It was like half my health. What am I supposed to do now?
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, go on,
sorry,
go on.
I just want to clarify strafe. So it's 3.5 seconds duration. Does it literally dodge every projectile thrown?
Yeah. You're going to dodge the shackle and you're going to dodge all the auto attacks from Windrunner.
Can you dodge shackle?
Yeah, it's projectile. It doesn't hit him. Wait, actually, is that true?
I don't think you can. I think if you blinked, it will still follow you.
No, you can disjoint shackle with blink.
Yeah, that's true. Certain. You can. Also, it doesn't matter whether you can disjoint it for Clinks because I don't think it works like that.
With shackle shot, I mean, like Avenged magic missile. If you pop strafe, that's not hitting you. But is it because shackle shot has a tracking thing where it like hits somebody behind them? Is that possible that you can?
I think you could only get shackled if you weren't the target.
Right. So if you hit somebody in front of the Clink and he pops strafe, you probably still shackle.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Another thing that I like about this hero is it's reasonably solid in the mid lane. I think the only bad matchup for Windranger is Queen of Pain, and even then it's fine after the lane if you can get there. Like, you're gonna kind of be wrecked a bit in the lane, but when you've got Power Shot, you're kind of fine, and then as the game goes on, you just scale really well against Queen of Pain, so it's fine.
Do you think OD would be good against Windrunner?
No, I don't think OD's good. You just blow him up. I think you can just shackle him. I think it's similar. Maybe in the lane, I'm sure OD is fine, but I think later in the game you're okay. She
pops for run and you just put her under and wait for that to come out.
Yeah, that's definitely true.
OD's tankier, though. OD's HP and armor, I think, is pretty decent. I think one of the reasons she could nail a Clinks is that he's naturally a really low HP hero. So if he gets a power shot to the face, you strafe for 3.5 seconds, but then Windrun lasts 6 or whatever, or 3, 4, easy catch. I think someone like OD would be like much more able to deal with her than someone like Clinks.
Interesting, because I'm on the stats. Windranger has a positive advantage against OD and a negative advantage against Clinks, so suck on that, boys.
Well, we're not.
That's why I'm in the host chair.
Yeah, it all.
No comment on that.
I feel like they all beat each other. Just depends on like who gets the jump or who's ahead.
Yeah, I think so. That's definitely the case with Windrunner Clinks. I played Windrunner Clinks from the Windrunner perspective a lot, and item timings are everything. It like completely tips the balance.
Yeah. I mean, if you pop Windrun and he diffuses you, I think you just die. Not that it purges you, but your Windrun gets wasted and you're still in the ult.
Yeah.
I think the biggest factor is which hero Stan's playing.
Yeah, it's true. That's a fair comment, to be fair. Although if I'm playing Meepo, I feel great because Meepo is very good against Windranger. Yeah. I'm just going to Earthbind you while you're Windrun. I really don't care. Wraith King is the worst hero. Is the worst Windranger win rate is against Wraith King. That's not the hero that Windranger has the biggest disadvantage against. That would be Io. But because Wraith King's so much higher win rate than Io, Wraith King is the hero that has the highest overall win win rate against the hero.
I don't get those numbers because first with the IO, I think Windrunner is sick against IO because you get so many double shackles.
That's what I was thinking as well.
And IO is just so, usually pretty easy for Windrunner to nail. And then with the win rate against Wraith King, I would have thought Windrunner is good because you kite the Wraith King so easily. Is she not good against heroes who can kite?
She's like popped everything on life 1, and then you just come back and kill her.
Fate Focus Fire persists over the lives?
Yeah, but you get a full... that you basically get 2 stuns, and...
It doesn't persist over the lives.
But it does with Aegis, right? I'm certain it does with Aegis.
Yeah, one of them does and one of them doesn't. I can't remember which is which. I don't know, maybe that...
I'm really sure it persists over Aegis, but yeah, if it doesn't persist over Reincarnation, then that is, problematic.
The other reason why Wraith King's good against Windranger is if you just stun Windranger, either she doesn't pop Windrun and you kill her, or she does pop Windrun and it's basically over, but it's a lot of the duration's gone by the time the stun runs out. And then she's slowed
too, which is big.
And she's slowed, yeah. So it's difficult in that sense. Plus also Radiance heroes are naturally going to be pretty good against Windranger because of the focus fire, it's just going to miss loads.
That's true.
So I don't know. Queen of Pain's the third highest. Oh, wait.
Have you read it wrong?
Have I read it wrong? Ah, yeah, I've read it wrong. Soz Boys. It's best against IO.
Yeah,
Okay.
That makes sense. Alright.
That makes sense. I was like, how is this ball that
we were
does
trying to
double
consider
shackles super easy and then has no armor? Well, he has armor now, but he has no... He's really weak. It's always focus the IO. How is he the best?
How's that possible? So, just to clear up finally, though.
And the balls don't slow anymore, too. So it's is...
So, to put everything in perspective again, I was still correct about the Clinks and the OD. That's right. But the Queen of Pain, we thought that Queen of Pain was the third best hero against Windranger, actually the third worst. So that, I guess, goes to show how much the matchup swings after the laning stage.
Yeah. Shackle, she just dies in a shackle shot focus fire.
Yeah, for sure. So it's really bad against... Windranger's very bad against Ursa. That's the worst matchup. Second worst being Lifestealer. The third worst being Ancient Apparition. Viper, Monkey King, Meepo, they're all up there. Clinks is reasonably up there as well.
It's kind of weird that Ursa does so well with these stats.
Yeah, it is. That is interesting.
Obviously stats can only say so much, and they will say very, very little in reality, but it's kind of still a weird one.
Very good hero against Timbersaw as well. That's the second worst hero against Windranger. 3.5% advantage there. So, I guess that's Windranger. Second most picked hero in the Divine Immortal brackets, Ember Spirit. This hero's been around for a while, it seems like, quite near the top. What's your thoughts on Ember, anyone?
It's all the Ags, I guess.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of, at least not really in my games, but in in streaming games, watching people play, a lot of safe lane Ember now. You can definitely play him in a safe lane. A lot of phase drum type stuff, not going that classic BOTs, be around the map, but you're still very active with phase drums. You just more run at people instead of TP on top of them. And then also you got your sleight of fist change, which I think that's probably what makes you able to be a side laner, is that it's nowhere near as punishing to have a level 1 sleight early. It's not 30 seconds, now it's 18 or something, so it's up more often. Yeah, I'm glad they changed the Ags to where it doesn't make it free. You get 5 jumps and they all cost 0. 25 seems like a good balance.
Yeah. Oh, I think so.
Because you're just way too mobile. Especially when you get 25 and you get the Remnant talent. Then it's absurd.
Oh, it's one of the most fun heroes to play in the game is Ember Spirit level 25 if you've got an Octarine core and Ags. That is so fun. I've only got there maybe 3 times, but my goodness, it's so fun. endless remnants, just going literally. The range as well is ridiculous. It's like,
and they're so
you can
fast.
basically go to the river. Yeah, you just remnant over the team fight from one side to the other, throw out like a chains as you go, then remnant all the way back over. You've still got 3 remnant charges, almost 4 again because of the respawn, and just it's so much fun. You just can fly everywhere.
Plus, he's got a very rare from the Collector's Cache and an ultra rare from Immortal Treasure 2. So,
yeah, must be considered for sure. Marco, Ember. Hero. Do you think this hero is just a safe hero to pick? Or I'm always not sure about that. People say this hero is like, he always does a job. I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know what your opinion is, but
I feel like he kind of could. I'm not very familiar with playing him in the safe lane, so I'm not sure how many matchups there are that he really struggles with, but I feel like he would, hold up pretty well. And I feel like this big win rate is largely because he's now
big pick rate.
Yeah, big pick rate is now because he can be played in that 1 role. And I think as a 1, so you're farming the safe lane, like Adam said, he is this really active fighter kind of hero. You get phase drums bottle at 11 minutes, say, and you're looking to brawl for a while.
Yeah.
So I don't think he should get smashed that hard in a lane. In a 2v2, I think he's pretty competent lane partner.
Definitely, I think so. If you have a lane partner that can basically just enable you to get flame guard damage on whoever you're running at, that's always going to be... Ember's always really strong in that duration. Especially once it's level 2, scales so well. Yeah, W2.
Him having a Maelstrom as well, he pushes out waves like so easy, so safely. It really changes the hero.
Yeah, for
and that
sure.
seems to be common for as a follow-up item for the for Ember after like phase drums.
Yeah, that's definitely the standard phase drum Maelstrom. What was I going to say about Ember? Oh yeah, just say I feel like he's always been able to be played as a 1 or a 2, but there are definitely matchups I would be really scared of if I was picking Ember mid and the enemy team had like last pick. Like Monkey King and Huskar, I feel like are just unplayable with your Ember Spirit. But having said that, if you know what you're doing and you can do enough sort of lane shenanigans to get away with it, this is a hero. Part of what makes him so versatile is that you often see him in pro games with quite a poor net worth relative to the rest of the team. He operates on levels really more than net worth. Sure, heroes these items like Maelstrom make the hero super strong, but he does offer so much utility with slight chains and remnants that he doesn't need to be this booming top net worth core to have an impact.
Yeah.
He has an impact no matter what his farm level is.
Yeah, he's like one of those classic heroes that you leave the ult at level 1 because you want the levels and all the other skills so much more.
Yeah, you can do that. And also, of course, in general, the way you level him is 2 main choices: max flame guard or max sleight of fist. I've never done sleight of fist, and I've actually played Ember a lot. Yeah,
I think
and
it's
the
more common
cooldown's
as the
crazy.
mid, but yeah, it's a lot of damage for a mid to have to deal with on such a low cooldown.
Yeah, and you can just run people. I've watched replays of it, and they'll sleight of fist someone. They're miles away. They can't see them, but they'll still run them down because the range and the radius of the spell is so high. You just keep chucking it out, and eventually they'll die.
Yeah. And you don't even care about getting fogged. Like you just go through.
You don't care. Yeah.
I guess you don't. You probably don't. You don't hit invis, but you just it's kind of like flying vision in that sense. You're just like, oh yeah, they're in this 1,000 radius of trees. I got them. Type of thing.
Yeah, definitely. For Ember Spirit, heroes that he is countered by, so the worst heroes to come up against when you are Ember Spirit. Huskar's number 1, that's no surprise. A whopping 6% disadvantage. That's one of the hardest counters in the game that I've come across, the Huskar. I guess you can't kill him, really, and also he just dumpsters you in lane, so I guess it just makes sense. Then, surprisingly, actually, it's Techie's number 2, Oracle at 3, that makes sense. Purging Flame Guard, of course. OD is number 4. I guess that makes sense as well. If you're laning as Ember and you pop Flame Guard, I guess you just max Sleight of Fist, I suppose, if you're going up against OD. But anyway, and the 5th biggest Ember counter is IO.
Yeah.
Mildly interesting, I suppose, those.
I guess like Techie Suicide silences you forever, and then also Stasis Trap.
Yeah, it's certainly super annoying.
Yeah, that's rude, yeah.
They fixed,
You can't really Remnant.
You can't Sleight of Fist while rooted anymore. So that
True,
is
true.
another big thing. I mean, he's still getting picked, but that is an interesting thing to consider.
Yeah, against lots of roots and stuff, I think you go Yule's Maelstrom, probably. Like phase Yule's Maelstrom, or maybe even phase Drums Yule's Maelstrom.
Yeah. Yule's can be absolutely core on him for sure.
Definitely, yeah.
Depending on the game.
Looking at the heroes that Ember Spirit counters, this lineup makes me smile that you can counter all 5 of these super annoying heroes with Ember. That's Phantom Lancer, Naga Siren, Spectre, Darkseer, and Broodmother. So
yeah,
that's a good lineup of heroes to counter right there. Those are some annoying ass heroes. 4 of them are hardcore position 1s. The Lancer, the Siren, the Spectre, and the Brood.
Very good against illusions. Because you're just, especially with the Maelstrom, you're like proccing on multiple illusions and it bounces all around and clears them.
Mm-hmm. Also, Broodmother. I didn't realise this until I played Broodmother for the first time, as discussed on the last podcast. I was against an Ember. If you pop Flame Guard and then you Sight of Fist like a million spiders, the Flame Guard active like follows you around the Sight of Fist, which I thought was kind of interesting. So you slap Broodmother super hard. All the spiders just die.
It was funny in that Gork Open Qualifier Run 1 when they got schooled by the Russian Broodmother and Cancel would Sleight of Fist like 100 spiderlings. He'd be doing it for about 25 seconds before he came back out.
Yeah. That's Brood these days. You don't even need the spiders to survive sometimes. You just get like Diffuse or BKB super early. You're just a spider with crazy farm. You don't even need any other heroes. Any other spawns.
No, it's true. Also, do you remember that crazy late game I had when we were living together and I was Mars and I was playing with 2 Na'Vi players, one of which was, I think it was Magical Ember Spirit and Zayak
I think I do remember
on position 4 Enigma, and this game went to like 70 minutes because the enemy had a Omega Strong Naga. And
I think I do remember,
the game was like one barracks left, like half of a lane. Enigma pulling out some monstrous black holes because he's like the strongest super late game hero. But then an Ember, going monster. I really like it when you see Radiance picked up on Ember. I feel like that item does so much work because you're in the vicinity of enemy heroes so long with slights every 4 seconds. So you get major radi damage, and then it just makes you slap major hard as well. I really like that.
It's interesting. Yeah, it's an interesting one, Radiance, because you kind of see it a mix, like a hybrid of the old and the new. So sometimes people will pick up like a Radiance at kind of weird periods of the game, like 30 minutes in, whereas traditionally heroes that are going Radi will rush it quickly so that they farm. But I've seen plenty of games where these Embers have gone like Phase, Maelstrom, Yule's, Radi. And stuff like that, which is kind of interesting.
In the right game, you get so much value from the mischance.
Yeah.
And then you're obviously getting just naturally so much damage output as well that it can sometimes be the sweet spot pickup.
It even makes you even stronger against illusions.
Exactly.
So I'm looking at the guides, and the 2 Radiance games that are in the first couple of pages. One is a enemy Naga Siren and the other is enemy Phantom Lancer. So I guess that's like the quintessential this is a Radi game. If you really need to take out those super annoying illusion heroes.
Yeah.
Let's move on to the next most picked hero, which is, I think, a lot of people's favourite carry, the tried and tested Faithful Juggernaut, rocking a 25% win rate, only 0.4 lower than the Ember Spirit. Pick rate, yeah. Only 0.4 lower.
It's like, man, 25% win rate and everyone's still picking it.
Oh, sorry, I misspoke.
I mean, that's
Jugman,
don't know what carry to pick. This one works in every lane.
Yeah, that's what it seems like to me. That Jug's just sort of solid. I feel like everyone plays a Jug. Everyone plays a Jug. Like, every Dota player plays a Juggernaut.
I think it's been consistently so with Pudge as well, which is a hero that the Divine Plus bracket doesn't pick up, but the others do. Pudge and Jug and maybe Invoker, to me, are like the long all-time really consistent high pick rates. And that Jug pick is, yeah, like you say, who the fuck do I pick? Well, let's just pick this classic guy that just has good damage output, has survived in the lane with spin, has a cool ultimate, he has a healing ward, he has a passive ability which helps because I have less to think about.
Yeah.
Such a go-to pick.
So many good lane combos. I mean, just like classic Crystal Maiden. Now you have you can do Shadow Shaman. Grimstroke is great.
Yeah.
There's just so many heroes that synergize with spin.
Any aggressive hero is like so good. The spin is such a good laning spell. It's just insane.
So much damage.
It must be the best spell of any position 1 for the laning phase.
At level 1?
At all levels.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like one of the best laning spells that exists.
Yeah, I should think so.
Offensively, it's insane how much damage you can do. Level 2 Blade Fury, you can do, I'm sure it's like 400 plus at level.
Deals a total of 575 at level 2 max.
And it's like 570 damage of a level 2 spell.
450 at level 1. 450 at level 1.
Yeah, it's insane. And
it's
then
insane.
Defensively, it's OP. Just get out of any magic shit you're in.
Yeah. I mean, laning-wise, we've all had games where an enemy Juggernaut's like 5-0 at 6 minutes, and it's just anyone that goes to the lane is just getting spun on, plus Ink Swirl or plus Frostbite or whatever it is.
Yeah, I love this Phase Drum Maelstrom build, and then like Yasha into like a Manta. You're just super fast, super farmy, super active. I mean, it's enough attack speed and procs off Maelstrom to kill pretty much anyone with your Omni Slash.
Yeah,
you got to make use of because it's super long cooldown now.
Yeah, the Battle Fury build's really fallen out of flavour now. It's Diffusal, Manta, or more likely than that is getting the Maelstrom, eventually building into the Mjolnir with the Manta, and then you can go Skadi, you can go Butterfly.
Basher,
you just don't see...
Bash is nice.
Yeah, you can go Casual Basher too if you eventually into the Abyssal.
Yeah, you just need attack speed now, and Battle Fury doesn't do that as much. The Omni Slash is much better with attack speed than raw damage.
Yeah.
It feels so good when you pick up the Hyperstone Complete Mjolnir, because obviously Maelstrom gives no attack speed anymore. So then when you get that massive influx from Mjolnir, you're probably doing 50% more damage in your ultimate.
Yeah, Mjolnir is such a good Jug item now,
So
even
nice.
more so than before. So good. Jug, I feel like doesn't seem there's too much more to talk about beyond that. He's kind of the same hero, he's just a solid position 1 that's strong in the lane and has options going forward and will provide high damage if he's farmed in the game. It's just as simple as that. And has a kill condition ultimate on a lot of heroes.
And Omni Slash is just fun.
Yeah. It is fun to just press R and sort of put your arms behind your head and just chill out.
Hand in the air ultimate.
Yeah.
And then the hand in the air standing up in the air is when you Omni Slash your Lotus target and just have this cinematic duel for 10 seconds.
Yeah. Also, shout out to Healing Ward. This spell wins games. This Healing Ward spells plenty of times will just win a game in a push or in a team fight. When
Even
you can't
with
kill the ward, it's just
being like nerfed and super slow now. It's still like It's so annoying when you can't kill it.
Yeah, for sure. It's funny in the lane as well when you see Jugs like right click man up in the lane and then micro their healing ward as the enemy lane opponent tries to run to try and kill this ward. It was quite fun. Although obviously with the nerfs to the speed, it's a little bit harder, but yeah, still super strong. Let's go to the fourth most picked hero. I think we'll probably do 5. So let's go to the fourth.
Didn't healing ward used to be like 450? Sorry, by the way,
Yeah,
speed,
I think
and
so.
now it's 350. Actually, just 100 slower.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, it used to be rapid.
When I was a kid, healing ward had movement speed. It's no longer just a planted plant.
Yeah.
0 movement speed in the future. Just
Okay,
planted.
what if they made it no movement speed, but you could plant it? Would that be really good still? And that made it say it was like invulnerable.
And 3 attacks to kill it or something.
3 attacks instead of 1.
Yeah, but it couldn't move.
And you could decrep it. Ooh.
I was going to say, how about this for a Pugna Aghanim Scepter? The ward becomes movable, 350 movement speed.
I
thought you were going to say you could.
It gets a bit more health, maybe.
You could life drain into the ward, and then it heals.
Yeah.
That's what.
Just because its active radius is so big anyway,
Oh,
having movement
very true. Yeah,
isn't too much of a thing. But yeah, if you could give it some life points, that could be pretty cool.
Yeah. To be fair, the radius on the Pugna ward is so big. Actually, the movement just kind of doesn't really matter too much for that. Let's go to Grimstroke. This hero has a 25% pick rate, 24.5. This is the first hero that we've discussed that actually has a negative win rate, even at the Divine Immortal. It's only 47.5%. And yet still super popular. Grimstroke's an interesting hero. I don't really know. Compared to other supports, he feels kind of hit and miss. He kind of just lives and dies by his ultimate, I feel like, as the game goes on. Adam, you're the biggest Grim player of us. What is it about Grimstroke that makes him the most popular support to be picked in the game at the moment?
He's very strong, but like, as somebody that picks the hero early, and then I tab out of the draft, and you come back to the draft after it's over, and you're like, wow, nobody picked anything like that synergizes with this hero at all. Like no single target spells, then it's like kind of weak. So you don't need a ton of synergizing, but it's nice to have spells. I would be curious to see what his win rate is when people actually draft towards it. It's because it gets really absurd if you have a Laguna Blade or a Sven Stun or like Frostbite or just anything. Yeah, just
anything.
Really, pretty much anything. Double tracks, double shurikens. I mean, I'm not even thinking of the best ones right now.
Just any.
Yeah, there's hundreds. There's hundreds for sure.
Yeah, you just need just anything. But then you can tab back in and look, and nobody picked anything. And then it's like, okay, leashing 2 people together is good, but it's not like OP unless you have, other AoE things. Maybe you have like Disruptor or something, or like a Darkseer to vacuum people even more closely together. But yeah.
Especially with the changes, the leash by itself is not as strong as it used to be.
Yeah, it doesn't slow anymore at all. So you need synergy, or at least like a jug for you to have someone to put Inkswell on. Now the spirit is super strong against certain int heroes that really need mana, like Tinker or Storm or something, because they have no really attack speed, so they get silenced for a very long time. And then I think Stroke of Fate is one of the best spells in the game. That's very satisfying.
Yeah, Stroke of Fate's a great spell. I just love the range. Throwing out some fat range.
It's the best D-push in the game. It's so safe to use, especially if you go Aether Lens plus cast range talent, plus Stroke of Fate cast range talent, then it's just so long, and
You
it's
are
so
a
low
turret.
cooldown. Yeah, and you're just like poking people for so much damage. They're slow, and they just like, oh, we can't push now.
It's kind of awkward that it's got sub 50% win rate with such a high pick rate.
This is Divine and Immortal pick rate, though, right?
Yeah,
Divine and Immortal pick rate.
Because I'm looking at DotA buff pick rate.
it plummets. Yeah,
It's like only a 10% pick rate amongst all brackets in all games, so it's like way less popular in every other bracket.
Yeah, it's the opposite of Ember Spirit. Ember Spirit's it's the same as Ember Spirit. Sorry, the pick rate just plummets as you go down.
I'm surprised.
Interesting.
So DotA buff says it's got 47.5% win rate in Divine Plus, which is noticeably unimpressive when this hero's toolkit is uber strong and people are picking it loads, so they obviously think it's a good hero. Or maybe people enjoy playing it. I think a trivia that listeners may remember, I don't think I've played Grimstroke ever yet. But obviously, a lot of people probably have a lot of fun playing it. I also think the ult is what makes the hero, as ultimates often do. To me, I would have thought his win rate would be higher because I feel like without his ult, it's still a pretty competent hero because it's got D-push and because it's got silence and stun. But then you get the ult, and if you link that with like 2 or 3 abilities, it's bonkers. But yeah, his win rate doesn't hold up that well.
Yeah, it's interesting.
He's great with Sand King. I just remembered because the stun hits both people.
Really?
Yeah.
Where does Sand King go when that happens?
What do you mean?
As in, you queue. So there's 2 binded heroes.
Oh yeah, so I think he ends up at the second one, but then you also throw your ink swell on them.
Do you mean that you can use one Burrow Strike to hit both, and then you'll repeat that Burrow Strike and hit both?
No, you'll hit both with the one.
Just because they're near each other, okay, yeah.
No, not because they're near. I mean, you target one person with Burrow Strike, and you'll hit the first person, and then you'll hit the second person.
Okay, now
you're not casting 2 burrows. Do you know what I mean?
Well,
I guess it is casting 2, but
you're
not hitting each one twice, is what I'm saying. You're hitting each one once, but you're traveling twice.
Yeah, now step up the notch of SK plays, and you use a Burrow Strike across 2 targets.
That are both leashed.
Both leash. So you target one of them that passes through the first one, stunning them both, and then your Burrow
Presumably
Strike.
it gets recast on the other one.
So maybe one of them gets hit once and the other gets hit twice. Maybe that could happen.
Yeah, maybe.
Next level plays, right?
Yeah. The classic also, when we're talking about the ult, I mean, you've got to mention Cypher Vice. Tyr's got a GPM talent. If you can, I think, reasonably reliably relative to other heroes, simply because of how Stroke of Fate works and because you've got a GPM talent, you can somewhat reliably get to a Vice quicker than most supports, and when you do, that's just a go-to. If you can get the double Cypher Vice off, that's insanely strong.
And if you can survive the late game, there's a lot more single target items that your team will pick up as well. So you get double nullifiers, double Bloodthorns, or double Dagons.
It's interesting also on the pick rate and versus the win rate, because in the pro scene, this hero is considered one of the strongest in the game, which would go contrary to his win rate in the Divine Immortal bracket. So I guess it goes to give some evidence to what Adam was saying about how a lot of the time, even at Immortal Divine, the synergy of the hero isn't properly realised, whereas at the pro level, it is, hence making this hero first phase ban, first phase pick, kind of in that territory. Looking at the heroes we've got left, let's say we'll do one more. I feel like, because the 5th most picked hero is Spirit Breaker, but I feel like we've given Spirit Breaker quite a lot of airtime.
I guess I played it a couple times. All I'll say is one game it felt very bad with the new change to his charge cooldown, and the one game it was negligible. It just depends on how fast you get the levels.
Yeah. Okay, I'm happy for that one word.
Yeah.
The hero that I kind of want to talk about, because it's the most surprising hero out of the top 10, and me and Marco picked this up before we actually recorded, and that's Slark. Slark's sitting as the 8th most picked hero in Divine Immortal. The 3 that we're omitting here is Spirit Breaker, Wraith King, and Warlock, which is 5, 6, and 7, but they're all pretty self-explanatory. I think they've all been there for a while. So I kind of want to talk about Slark.
Not a lot of change. It's like Midas Radiance, and then just like, I do the Golem. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Let's talk Slark then. This hero has a 21.3% pick rate in Divine Immortal. It's got a 49.5. Oh no, I'm looking wrong. It's got a 50.4% win rate, so positive win rate. Seems like the first time in ages that this hero is good and is picked a lot. I remember it was really dominant in pubs about a year and a half ago, then completely died. With I think patch 7.2, the one that removed leash damage. Yeah, it was massacred, and then now suddenly it's back, which I just thought is interesting that this hero is here. Is it because of changes, or why is this hero back? I can't quite remember how he's been changed.
Anna, the major.
Yeah, it's true.
Oh wait,
yeah.
You don't have to build Shadow Blade on this hero. You actually just go to Fusel Blade, and it's just as good as having a Shadow Blade, or you just go Midas and I have a bunch of attack speed, and this hero actually feels really good when you don't have to sink 3k worth of item into an invisibility blade. You can actually get useful if you replace Shadow Blade with the Fusel Blade, they're pretty similar in cost, maybe 500 more for the Diffusal. And instead of just getting raw attack speed, you're getting so much agi, which is the same amount of attack speed and then damage and then the slow or the purge. So he's a pretty slippery fish.
7.22, big change that happened was his HP regen from Shadow Dance got really nice buff. So it used to be 5, 6, 7% of your max health was your regen. Then also, it used to be 3, 5, 7, and then it got changed to 5, 6, 7. So that means the health regen you're getting from the passive ultimate at level 1 is now as good as it used to be at level 2. So that in context is a massive buff to his level 1 ult, which means he's just way more self-sufficient early game, just more durable, just brings him on just massive buff.
Yeah.
And then the Anna comment is so true, actually. How that one tournament brought him back big time.
Yeah, to piggyback also off what Adam was saying, it is literally just the item builds on this hero has just been blown wide open. It's not like it's not even as simple as, we don't have to build Shadowblade, we'll now do this build. It's wow, there's actually so many choices. Midas is really popular on the hero. Phase and Treads, both an option. You can go Drums first, you can go Echo Saber first, you can rush Diffusal first. Lots of Blinks being picked up at points, which is a pretty crazy item traditionally for Slark to consider. Loads of variety, really. I've even seen Moon Shards, just straight up Moon Shards at 30 minutes, and crazy stuff like that. The hero really has options.
It's like Shadow Blade build kind of pigeonholed you into I'm just going to pick people off. I'm just going to roam around and get a support. But now you just build standard agi carry items, and now you just kind of team fight instead. And you're actually pretty strong.
You're way more reliable.
Yeah, definitely.
Because with that Shadow Blade build, all your eggs are in the basket of you're going to pick off supports and snowball. If that doesn't happen and the enemy team's got a traditional position 1 getting fat and becoming a hard hitter that can just stand and hit in team fights, but you're the Shadow Blade doing shit all, not farming, not killing, it's just over.
Yeah. Silver Edge is a good item on him, but that's should be a late game thing, and that only for break, if that's what you need.
Yeah.
There's so many more better items.
Nice.
Yeah, I would. I mean, I think Midas is the way to go because you just get levels and it's 40 attack speed. It's very
it's really
strong.
nice.
But yeah, Diffusal feels really, really good.
I mean, I love playing this hero against tanky offlaners where you can just farm essence shifts in the lane. And also rune fights. I like rune fights with this hero because all this pokey, tradey stuff, and you're just stacking up essence shifts, and you always can surprise the opponents with how much better you trade when you've got like 8 stacks at the rune fight sort of thing.
Yeah, the first 3 hits, you're like, this is nothing. And they're like, oh my god, what's happening?
yeah, definitely.
What have I done?
I'll touch on the counters and reverse counters. I don't know what the word is, whatever. Best versus Bristleback, Abaddon, Warlock, Tree, Tide. Makes a lot of sense. And worst versus Leshrac, Grimstroke, OD, Necro, Pugner. Again, makes sense. They're all heroes that... I guess Grimstroke isn't, but the Lesh, OD, Necro, Pugner, it's like, yeah, these heroes... It's a lot... You can't just press his ult and guaranteed to survive for 5 seconds.
Yeah, it's
AoE damage is
yeah, for sure.
Very strong.
The 2 heroes that sprung to my mind about what are strong counters in that realm is Earthshaker and Lina. I absolutely love it when you're an Earthshaker and you can chain stun this guy despite him being in his ultimate because you've got Aftershock, AoE stun, and you can output damage when your spells are of that nature, and it's the same with Lina. You're stunning him, Dragon Slaving, and he can't not get hit by those. So yeah,
definitely.
Some heroes you do have to be careful that Slark is pretty weak against, but like most carries, he often is a late pick, and if they've got these meaty shit like a Tree or Abaddon that you can munch on, or just supports that have not great AoE business, it can be
Abaddon is
strong.
just like, I don't care if he's got borrow time on, it's just 4 stacks. And then it's same with like an axe that builds a Vanguard. You're like, yes, I'll deal less damage, just give me more stacks.
Yeah, that's why I love it against Pudge, because he'll ult you and it's just instant Q, and then it takes me a while to kill you, but the reward is damn good when you've got 20 stacks.
Yeah, and it's worth shouting out that another change that's happened since the last time Slark was in the meta is now he gets this permanent agility from Essence Shift, which even though it's only 1, it's
every little
not
help.
To be scoffed at. It can build up, and obviously that permanent agi is pretty tasty. Infinite scaling, so that's worth shouting out. Also, this hero is good versus Clinks. We were searching for the Clinks counter. Hero has a 2% advantage against Clinks, so there you go, Slarky boy.
A decent hero against him is CM, actually. If you get the Frostbite down when he doesn't have Dark Pact, that's just huge lockdown. And then if he jumps on you and pounces you, you're just like, oh, I pop Freezing Field. And it goes through the ult. You have like 20 armor, so you actually get a full Freezing Field off.
Yeah.
Definitely can kill him during his ult with your AoE.
Yeah, good shout. I like that. The stats agree. Advantage for Crystal Maiden over Slark. There you go. Anything else you want to touch on Slark? I mean, it seems, or any of these heroes.
He's got that cool set from the cache that makes
Crocodile Slark.
Yeah, Crocodile.
Yeah. Always, I mean, we've given all this analysis. Probably someone will message us and be like, "You do realize all of the heroes in the top 10 are just like immortal or cache heroes."
Grimstroke got his first immortal.
Yeah, that weird thing. I haven't even really seen it.
It's it's just a brush or whatever.
Yeah, paintbrush.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for the hero persona, Grimstroke hero persona. All of the trades. You know, he'll be a plasterer and a plumber. Painter, all of them. I want to see them all.
I do like the persona. I'm interested to see if they're going to do that with more heroes.
I really hope they will.
And if that what's interesting is that Invoker is still alive for the Arcana. So I wonder how that will work. I mean, if he wins, I hope he doesn't win.
I hope not.
If he does win, what does that mean? Because the persona, I equipped it, like you can't equip any other items on him. Like you can't any other like cosmetics because they're different models. But it does clear out the spots, does say like cape, kid in parentheses. So I guess in the future you can have different cosmetics for the kid version. But it's interesting.
Gaben knows how to tweak some numbers to make sure that doesn't happen.
I was going to say, Gaben also is never going to miss a chance to sell more sets. So you bet your bottom dollar that those kids are going to be getting some sets soon. One thing that caught my eye that made me chuckle was the fact that the Dark Artistry set, the price hiked about like $100 or something in preparation for the young persona, thinking that all these Invoker people or this people would like be, oh man, I want Dark Artistry on this thing. And then you can't even equip it. And so the price just crashed as soon as it came out.
That's
all
so
these
awesome.
Investors just getting wrecked. So funny.
Another thing is like, I do think it's really well done, the persona, but it's literally my worst hero. So I will never play it. Not even once. So that's kind of a feel bad because it does look really cool, but whatever.
Yeah, I thought about Invoker once. I played a bunch of Invoker game, the website and stuff, and I think I played a few unranked games, and then it just, don't know, man, it's too much of an investment. You're either a DotA player or an Invoker player, and I chose DotA,
That's
I think.
right.
Yeah.
So
we still have the tiny prestige item to come out. So still some things from the Battle Pass. Immortal 3, whenever that will come.
I'm really looking forward to Immortal 3. I don't know. I just want some, just because I know I'm going to get all of them, pretty much. I mean, maybe not the ultra rare and the super rare, but I'll probably get the rare and the normal ones. So I'm just 3 sets for me. I'm excited to see what they are.
Yeah. Immortal 3 is usually the coolest ones, too.
Yeah.
Which I think they make that by design because you get less of those chests on average. So.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's usually the coolest. And of course, it's Valve, it's Gaben, so you know that the ultra rare is going to be a super popular hero.
Absolutely.
Just because, so we'll see.
Probably another jug item.
Yeah, or it'll be like Storm. Well, to be fair, they'll probably listen to this podcast to see what the most picked heroes are, and then make their judgments based off that.
And then it'll be a Chin ultra rare.
Oh god, no. So yeah, Ep 36. Thanks, Marco and Adam, for joining me. We'll be back in a week for Ep 37. Until then.
Boy.
Nice.